Hello, I am Lord Gob, the DM for this DC20 Lost Minds of Phandelver Homebrew campaign, and we're just kicking off with episode 4. There won't be a pre-session today because there was no housekeeping that we needed to do. And without further ado, we will introduce our characters. Jaku, please go first.
As usual, I am Jaku, playing the barbarian slime known as Awake. I hope to give you all a good show, and I wish you all a good time.
Luis. Alright, and next, Miss Galaxy Fox. Don't have mic issues this time.
I'm Galaxy Fox, sometimes mic issues. I'm playing a beastful cat-like rogue who likes to hang out with everybody and also sometimes does some other stuff on the side.
Okay. Next, we have Mr. Blakcat.
Yes, I'm Blakcat. I am playing Tonē Thröq, your favorite throwing warlock build.
Okay. And next, our late but not late Samarand.
Mikaela Dawnax-Sklryb. She is also a rogue, and I forgot what else we have to introduce here, so that's it.
Nicely done. Alright, Mr. Spring, you are up last, but not least.
Hello, I am Spring. I am a beast-born squirrel type ranger.
Okay. And with that, and all our player characters introduced, I'll go ahead and begin the summary. Last session, we basically just fought a bunch of goblins. There was a secret ambush in the middle of the night that happened after the last they encountered a goblin the session before last session, and they let it go free. And at the start of the session number 3, they had an argument with the head miner about whether or not that was an okay thing to do. And then that night, on the random encounter table, we rolled up a goblin ambush. So it seems like the game is suggesting that the miner was in the right, perhaps. Maybe, we'll see. And yeah, we left off. We were just coming off of the ambush scene, and we have now. And this is everyone was going into a long rest. So I'll go ahead and move us to the player world map. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to. 1 second. Okay. There we go.
Don't forget to focus ping.
Yep. Right, that's the thing I can do. Focus ping. That works better. Alright. And I'll go ahead and delete the Passage of Night. So, as the dawn of the morning of your 4th day out of the city of Neverwinter begins, you all kind of start to wake up, and you wake up from your slumbers in the various ways that you do. And I'm curious to... Here, this is how we'll start. What are all of you guys thinking as you wake up from the slumber of following the goblin ambush? How y'all feeling?
Awake is probably thinking just something along the lines of, they woke me up in the middle of the night. Didn't sleep too well, but I guess that's what people have to deal with. Sometimes I miss not having to worry about them being too awake. Awake.
As Awake, wake up. Okay. Blakcat, what is going through your character's mind?
He's kind of astounded, I guess, maybe, that he saw the goblin creeping around, and was able to wake everyone in time. I'm grateful that he did.
Okay. Samarand, what is Mikaela thinking?
She's just thinking of Well, thinking of the exact same thing that the game is thinking, whether the goblin has called other goblins or whether it was just a coincidence, and what the path ahead holds.
Alright. Interesting. Spring. What's going on in your character's mind?
I don't think Spring is much of a morning person, so he's probably still half asleep as he wakes up and climbs down the tree. He probably walks over to the one wagon wheel that he thinks is enchanted with magic because the one goblin was having trouble with it and it was making weird effects nearby.
Alright.
He doesn't think much of it, he's just staring at it in his half-sleep state.
Alright. And lastly, Galaxy Fox, what is Mahina thinking?
Mahina just stretches and moves up from her sleeping position and just goes, "You never get a peaceful night's rest." Oof.
Okay. I have to know, does she do like the cat stretch or does she do like a normal human stretch?
No, she does the cat stretch.
Oh my god, brilliant.
Fall online, Jan. Like the biggest mouth open, tongue out.
Does that mean she needs her bed before going to sleep too?
Nah, I mean, it depends on what her bed is. She's used to sleeping anywhere and everywhere.
Need as in like do the kitty massage with the claws and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah. When it's soft enough, definitely. When it's like a bunch of rocks, no. She likes the claws. They're very useful.
Oh my god. Okay.
Claws are a useful lock-picking tool.
Ah.
Oh, by the way, she will only ever do the lion's yawn when she's completely alone in her own room. She will never anyway. Like the stretch, yes. The yawn, nah. Only when she's alone.
Alright. Interesting, okay. So, with all of these different levels of thought in our player characters' minds as we wake up for this day, you all begin to pack up your things, get ready to leave, do anything you would do in the morning before getting ready to go. Spring, can you do me a favor and make me an investigation check? Why not? Seems legit.
Investigation, cool. That is a +3.
Okay.
Surprisingly good for a state.
Okay, Thinking.
Is this for staring at the wheel?
This is for staying at the wheel, yes. Yeah, I don't think that you would glean any more information from it. You're groggily, sleepily looking at it for a little bit, and then one of the miners bumps into you as you're like trying to get ready to go, and you're like, I'm sorry. Yeah, you just stare at it for a bit, and nothing seems to come of it. Before you all once more continue on your travel. So, as the day begins, can everybody make me an awareness check for doing the travel? And whoever is our lead navigator, I don't know if I've been doing this or not, but whoever is the lead navigator, don't make an awareness check, and instead make a survival check.
That would be Spring.
Yep.
Don't know if I've been doing that before or not, but that is what I'm going to be doing now.
You
Okay,
have
I feel like-
to guess, because
I feel like
I've
I
been
have to-
spamming favored terrain.
I feel like I have to ask for the spreadsheets. Do I put in the total or the roll without modifiers?
The roll without modifier.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. True. Wow, looks like everybody is sleepy today except for awake. Okay.
Wait, would you say
Living up
awake is
to
awake?
name.
Yes, perhaps. So perhaps awake is just a little bit more awake than the rest of you.
I mean, unlike everyone else, weirdly enough, despite being the tank, I was not damaged at all last night. I did.
Amazing. Okay, yeah, so, as you guys continue your travel for the next day, you begin to pass from the domain of Neverwinter into more rugged domain. It's not a very clear transition as you are traveling, but you can definitely tell that the roads are less maintained the further away you get from Neverwinter. It goes from being like, nicer dirt paths to being the ones that are kind of unclear where exactly it is that the path is. Sometimes grass is grown over it in parts, and it's again it's a slow transition, but you can tell that you are definitely more out in the wilderness now, and as we move from our next hex into the next one, on the next leg of our journey. Spring, being the resident navigator, can you roll me 2d8s for our random encounter roll? Ooh!
2 double net
Oh.
ones.
Oh!
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'm
What will
terrified
happen here?
about what net ones on encounters mean.
I don't remember what they mean, so we'll find out. Okay. So, interesting. So, Spring, as you guys are traveling along the road, you guys get to a point where... once more the road seems to become unclear, and you're like... You go to, climb a tree to, see if you can spot where the next patch of road continues on. When you see in the distance... something that looks familiar to you, being that you are a hunter, and that is, you notice a pack of wolves. Make me a survival check or an animal check, your choice.
You said a pack of wolves. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And survival or animal?
Survival or animal. Different information depending on what you roll.
Let's see. What the general wolf appearance do they have? Are they familiar?
Sorry, what?
Are these wolves familiar because I've seen them before, or are these a new type? If I can ask before rolling.
I will say, they're not a new type of wolves, but they're a kind of wolves that you don't see here often. So I'm asking you to roll to see what you know about them.
Cool. Then I will do survival because I'm not trying to be friendly with them.
Okay.
Well, I'm not actively being hostile, but I'm not trying to make friends.
Yes. That makes sense. Although I guess technically this probably should be a nature check. Because it's about what you know about the wolves, right? So...
Yeah,
I
this
guess-
should be an analyzed creature
2
action.
from that.
Okay. So, drop 2. So that would be a 15. Okay. With a 15, that is a success by 5. Sure. We will say that as you are paying attention and watching this pack of wolves, you notice something. You notice that this is particularly strange because you're off the top of your head, you would know that there are different kinds of wolves that hunt at different times in this world, and that typically the day wolves don't really tend to hang out with the night wolves, which are called the dire wolves, as they are much more vicious and sneaky. But you find a pack of them that is relatively small, and it seems to have a lot of a good mix of the two. You can't tell what it is they are hunting, but they don't seem to be traveling at you so much as like parallel to you. They're going in this direction. Sorry, in this direction. As you guys are, somewhere adjacent to you guys.
So, did I understand correctly in that we're going opposite directions, but sort of distance-wise we're the same?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Do they seem to have noticed us?
That's a good question. Are you guys being stealthy about your travel, or are you just being like trying to be quick, or like what's the vibe of your pace?
I assumed we were trying to pass ourselves off as a trading caravan, like essentially just not too stealthy, but also not saying we're going to, but also not saying we're working for this guy as like we're working for this rich guy and stuff like that. I assumed we were just trying to pass off as a trading caravan.
We were just attacked by goblins last night, so I feel like we'd at least be careful.
That is
Careful,
true.
careful.
Let's roll awareness on the wolves. See what they notice. Okay, they have. Okay, the wolves have definitely. The wolves have indeed noticed you guys. Okay, so.
Then I guess as Spring locks eyes with one of them, he will nudge the driver of the caravan and say, "Keep an eye out, and get ready to speed up if needed."
Okay.
Do you inform the rest of the party about this?
Oh yes.
Okay, then Awake would while he's he would get. He's not trying to get in combat, but he would get ready. He pulls out his weapons and shield and just starts walking with them.
Okay.
So you said this was a mix of nighttime wolves and daytime wolves, and the night variety are called dire wolves, right?
That's correct.
I'm just going to quickly go browse backstory to double check info on that.
Okay. I hope that I didn't contradict anything.
No, that sounds right. I'm just hoping
Okay.
for a little bit extra than what I actually remember.
Okay. Cool. Additionally, yeah, I think that would be around the only thing that you notice. As you tell the driver to, what did you say that you told them again?
To get ready to speed up or start driving defensively.
Okay. Interesting.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, the wolves that I remember were either the same speed or faster than me, which is very, very bad for this slow-ass wagon.
Yes, definitely. Okay. So, thinking about how I want to handle this, I think we're going to finally use a skill challenge, which in DC20 is a thing where everyone is going to make a certain number of checks. In this case, I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-round skill challenge to escape the wolves, and on a failure, bad things happen. When you get success, you get a certain amount of success points, and if you reach a threshold, then you avoid some major consequence for the party. Or at least that's my understanding of the way that these go. So, I'll go ahead and make things for that. Real quick. Successes and failures. Okay. Sure. As Spring is kind of standing on the cart, and he warns the driver to look out, the driver's like, "Oh, what?" And he whips the horses, and they begin to go faster. And you notice that the wolf that you had locked eyes with, as it kind of watches you guys go, you hear very faintly. You hear a very faint sound, as all the wolves startle, and then the ones in the back begin to run around making a very wide circle around you guys, going effectively like a path like that to go around you guys, as the pack begins to spread out. So the wolves begin to. As the wolves are beginning to spread out, spraying with your experience as a hunter, you can definitely tell this is a formation they use when they are trying to circle a thing, cut off its escape, and then close in on it. You'd definitely be aware of that, and I assumedly alert the party.
Yes, you would definitely tell the wagon drivers to start speeding up.
Alright. So then, with that in mind, what do you guys do as this is starting to happen?
So, what Awake would be doing is, he'd essentially, like, upon noticing that the wolves are starting to surround us, he would try to pick out the quote unquote leader of the pack. Actually, wait, no, pack dynamics are a thing only he would try to basically scare off the wolves using intimidation. He'd like, if you would allow me, he would quote unquote rage and just start like morphing around and try to scare them a bit. Can I roll? Can I use rage for the advantage on intimidation?
You know what? Why not? There are a few things that barbs are good at combat. Sure, you'll allow you to rage for advantage on intimidation.
And 23.
Okay.
Oh, within that one.
Thank goodness for rage. A 23 is going to be a success by 10. As we're gonna get a total of 3 success points for as Awake becomes like. You guys watch as Awake's form becomes like extremely big and bloated, and he almost looks more like an ogre or something. As he is like making big movements, I imagine maybe throwing something to scare off the pack. Who's next?
I am definitely imagining Awake as one of those car sale balloon people.
What? Waving a purple alarm filling tube guy. Waving alarm filling tube guy.
Oh my god.
Just leaving.
Probably a little bit faster, but that's definitely the movement I'm picturing.
Oh my god.
I was envisioning it such as
Grow
like
out of the ground too.
I was envisioning it such as like oh god. Yeah. I was envisioning it more just like he kind of went blob, he started just like getting bigger and blob-like for a second, and then just like his top would just like start moving around independently, so he could morph and shit a lot. But you know what? I like the ogre movements better.
Okay, who's next?
I guess I'll go. Tony would try to keep them off the back. You said they're circling around the back, right? That's
Yep.
what it looked like the drawing. Okay, yeah. Keep them off the back by just throwing some of his throwing weapons at them. Not kind of like intimidatingly, but obviously not making an intimidation check, but to slow them down as well. Keep like
Alright, that sounds like a valid attack check.
They know not to stay too close.
Okay.
Wagon. Attack check is +4, right?
Yep.
So they're 8.
Okay. That'll be a failure. I'll narrate the consequences of that in a bit. But okay, noted. Who is next?
Mahina will... Oh,
Okay, yeah. Go first.
sure. Mahina will
Pretty sure.
climb on top of the cart, basically. And look out for where the weakest point is, where we can easiest like go through. So if the wolves are encircling, where's the circle the weakest? Where's the biggest room for us to get through with least resistance, basically, the path of least resistance.
Okay, cool. Path of least resistance. Okay. That sounds to me like an investigation check.
Sure.
Okay. Right. And I'm remembering, based on how Coach does this, that everybody rolls a check, and then after that we narrate the conclusion of what happens. So I'm thinking that is what I should be doing, is then narrating it immediately. So, Spring, what do you do next?
Yes. Spring is going to prepare for the event that the wolves start gaining on us and attacking. So he is going to take out some of his stakes from his jacket and ask to borrow some of Awake's goop to temporarily stick the stakes to the sides of the wagon in a sort of defensive spike pattern.
He will let you.
Okay.
It's up to the DM if this would damage me or not.
No, it's not going to damage you. Okay, so... Can you say again what you're trying to do?
I'm trying to stick my small stakes on the corners and back of the wagon using some of Awake's body goop as glue.
Okay. Okay.
I'm imagining this is a tinker check of a kind.
Oh, yes, sure, that makes sense.
Cool.
You can make a tinker check. I'm like, is that carpentry, or... Tinker makes sense.
What stat would you like this tinkering to use?
Agility makes sense. You're trying to be quick about this. Quick and fast.
Cool. And this will be a +5 check.
Alright, and then Mikaela, what are you doing?
I'm imagining that the low awareness roll and other things that's been happening with what she's just been like waking up and thinking that she's just probably talking to the dwarf this whole time. And she hears that something crazy going on outside. I think should go along the route that Awake is doing and do something a bit intimidating, as she casts sorcery and just to have all them nice cold effects just swirling around, and also will take some of her grease and just as she walks out of the back of the wagon towards the wolves, just lights it on fire and drips it from hand to hand, just hiding the pain.
Okay.
As she just tries to look like some kind of masterful mage or something. A master of fire and
Okay, so, that sounds cool. So that's definitely going to be a spell check. Though I could see performance. And I will say that if you're willing to, like, spend an item and delete it from your inventory, I will give you a +3 to your check for that.
Whoa.
Sure, I'll say the same thing applies to you, Spring, but I don't think that is... being that stakes are your only weapon, I assume you're not going to do that, but... Anyway.
They aren't my only one, but they're one of my main ones, so yes. I theoretically just make new ones after running out.
Mm-hmm.
With sticks and stuff nearby.
Okay. So, in that case, Mikaela, make a spell check with either +4 or +7, depending on whether or not you're willing to spend your grease bottles.
Do I spend all 5 spaces of the grease?
Yes.
Dang.
So you
Okay,
can burn the whole thing? Okay, cool. In that case, just with +4. Which is still a significant bonus.
And disadvantage.
Tony made it an attack check. You're making a spell check, so you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the multiple check penalty on skill challenges only applies if it's multiple people doing the same thing with the same intent. Which is a caveat that I forgot about. Oh my god! Why do you guys like rolling 9s so much? Okay, so...
Cool.
being that at current, your guys' failures have outweighed your successes, and round 2 is beginning. A complication is going to happen. A complication is going to happen. Let's see. We pretty much everyone except for Awake rolled a failure. So I think what happens is that Awake is so big and terrifying, but he is in the front of the pack that he manages to make it so that the none of the wolves actually go into the front of the pack, but they all run behind the car and start yipping and slashing, and attempting to take down the wheels and whatnot. Anyone that failed, you're going to take one. You're going to take. Is it 1 or 2? I think it's 1. You're going to take 1 point of. I'm going to say slashing damage. Just for a failure. As round 2 begins, and we pray that you guys are more successful at this point. As the wolves are getting closer and starting to actually damage the car, you see the dwarves in the thing being getting pretty scared. As Sky steps forward with her hammer, trying to she's at the back trying to keep them at bay. As she's also being taking damage from it. You see at one point, Spring, the one of the wolves attempts to dislodge one of the tires, and you see the nail or whatever that you put in there trip a little bit, as though it's the only thing keeping that wheel properly on the cart. And then you hear the sound of howling. As all of you guys, if this was in combat, all of you guys would make a mental saving throw. As you hear this ear-piercing screech that almost sounds like a banshee. As you guys just all of you almost freeze up in place. The horses and the bulls start to go. They almost start attempt to scatter. In response to this ear-shattering noise. You do not need to actually roll the saving throw. And you guys see. Kind of emerging on a hill ahead of you, what looks to be a much larger wolf that has different kinds of colors that align that not align that almost highlight tips of its fur. They seem to make some kind of drawing or something. It's almost like its fur has been dyed in some way. But you're unable to get a clear view of it, as the next second something bites at the back of the car. You all jump and are thrown off balance. So with that, our second round of the skill challenge will continue. What happens next?
Okay, I think Awake would then try to he would try to in the cart. He would try to find the. This is risky, but I feel like it could have a payoff. He would try to find the materials and then throw for some sort of fire bomb or something like that. Nothing powerful, but fire scares wolves, so he would try to basically throw that together. I'm thinking, so he would try to throw that together. Can I make an alchemy check for that?
Could Spring help Awake target the correct wolf? Using his general knowledge of wolf packs and where the alpha / current leader usually goes in this formation.
Sure. Are you wanting to use the help action, or are you wanting to make is that the help action, or are you flavoring a check?
Yeah, help action.
Okay, sure. In that case, you're gonna roll a straight d20 with no modifiers and roll a d8 to add to Awake's check. Oh no, your check is forfeit, and instead you're adding a d8 to Awake's check. Awake, what you are doing is you're making an alchemy check. I will say sure. As you attempt to, I imagine you have some random assortment of alchemist supplies that aren't very good or in place. But yeah,
I have my tools, but I'm flavoring this as I'm kind of rummaging through what's in the caravan, thinking there might be something. Oh!
Nope. You better roll high on that d8 health check.
Yep.
Woo! Just barely. Okay.
Wait, why'd you add the 6? I didn't know. I didn't realize.
Because that was your roll.
Oh, it's 6 plus 8.
Total, and I added
right.
8.
Right, my mistake.
All right, who is next?
I guess I'll go. I want to use my charisma influence to get the driver to drive faster and more precisely through the pack of wolves.
Okay.
After they throw the firebomb, we have to navigate both the firebomb and the wolves. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. In that case, yeah, make me an influence check. That seems legit. Mahina Mikaela.
Yay!
Nice. Well done. Mahina or Mikaela, you guys are next.
Mikaela has no idea what to do. Her hands are burning, so she's just trying to like cool them off, you know.
Don't forget that the current leader of this formation has been pointed out. If you want to try target them specifically.
All right.
Hey, hold up. Just so you know, I think the pre-session uploaded twice last time.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. Mahina, do you know what your character is doing, or are you guys both kind of at a loss?
No, she'd probably just aim for the wolves that are probably in front of the cart the most to not directly hit them, but scare them off.
Okay, sure. You can make me a... You know, this sounds fun. Make me an agility intimidation check.
Okay.
As you time to use precision to terrify them. And Mikaela, I might think that... what could your
Probably just
character do?
attack the leader, eh?
Alright. Seems legit. Since you've
No one made
had
an attack check yet.
Yep, no one's made an attack check yet. What weapon are you using to attack the leader with?
I'm assuming like her left hand is all burned and stuff, and she's gonna use her she's gonna use right hand and run up with the stick.
Gonna hop off the car and attempt to run as fast as the wolves. Hell yeah, I love it.
Hop
Is your
off the
stick
cart
on
to
fire
the
as you
leader.
do that?
Sure. I'll expend the stick in my inventory.
Oh no, who left? Oh, okay. One of our audience members.
Oof. Yeah, there are a couple people in the Discord call as we're recording this.
I'm kidding about that, obviously. I would never lose my stick.
Naturally, it's too precious of an item.
Magic.
What'd you roll?
14. Total.
14. Okay. So, yeah. Thinking. If this would cooperate with me. If I did that. Can I then? I can. Okay, epic. So, with a 14, that is going to be an additional success point. And I think I counted 19 as 2. Right, 4, and then you had 4 last round. You had 3 last round. And you get 3 more from Tonē, 6. And 2 more from Mahina is 2, and then 1 more from Mikaela is 9. Okay, so as you guys now starting to kick into high gear, the wolves are getting closer. You're afraid for the safety of the cart. With the howling, piercing screech, and the behavior of the animals being thrown off guard. They're not really maintaining their movement correctly as such. Tonē, you get into focus and you snap the whatever the guy that is driving the horse, whatever his name is, you snap him back into focus. You're like, hey, focus! And you point right as an explosion comes up from where Awake and Spring have thrown their bomb. As the cart like shifts with most of its right, you hear the rattling of like items inside, and it like begins to turn as you begin to go like on kind of off road in between like two hills, or like more hilly terrain to hopefully throw off the pursuit of the wolves. And Mahina and Mikaela begin to fire an arsenal of weapons and I assume arrows at the wolves and to keep them back. And as you guys are all putting your utmost effort into keeping the cargo and the miners safe and then going and avoiding the ambush, the attack of the wolves, you guys end up going a wee bit off road through all of the chaos before like as the battle continues for another 10 or 15 minutes. You start to fire more precisely at the wolves and back them off and right, and as you kind of emerge from this like almost like a valley-like thing, you like emerge on the other side of it, and you're like breathing heavily. The horses have taken some hits, and the carts aren't in great shape, but you're not like pulled off road or anything. You're not your cart isn't like stranded off road, but you do end up getting a good ways of the way off of the path as you are finally able to escape the pack of the wolves. You see them starting to kind of slow down and pant as you see like these purple glowing eyes, like the head wolf, one that released that ear-piercing screech. You see its eyes kind of like slowly begin to glow with like a purple fire as it starts to like slow down running, and you guys pass all the way through the valley or thing here. Taking a deep breath, you guys start to calm down and assess your situation. With our very good total of successes being 9 versus 4. You guys didn't end up going too far off the road. You guys didn't end up going too far off the road. But you currently have like you feel with like a couple of hours of travel you could get back to where you should have been. But can you all please make me an awareness check as you find yourself in a new location? Nice, well done. Well done. Okay. Apparently you guys are alert after the wolf battle. Except for Spade, he's exhausted. He's too focused on making sure the miners are okay.
Watching the alpha.
Okay. Okay, so, as you guys kind of go through this pass here, and the horses slow down and you guys are all calming down, you start to feel underneath of your feet what isn't... Like, you've been on a dirt path for a good while, but now you start to feel yourself treading on, like, stone or something. And when you look down, there is a very poorly cobbled path beneath your feet that has been pretty much overgrown to the point that it almost looks like... It's like, have you ever been to like an old like an abandoned city or something, like where the plants have started to reclaim the street and stuff, but you can still tell that there used to be civilization here. It's the same.
Wildlife has overgrown it.
Yeah, it's the same kind of vibe. As you discover beneath your feet what looks to be a path that leads toward the forest. Not directly toward the forest, more like in this general direction. But it goes...
The red bread ruffians.
It goes much more, like, the main path goes this way. This path goes this way. As you...
Oh, sorry, I'll wait.
Wait, are you saying it's perpendicular to the road or parallel?
More like a 45-degree angle. Like, here, let me... Like, this is that's, like, the vibe.
Gotcha.
It strays much closer to the forest than it usually does, than the main path.
Is this overgrown path Was it on the map back when we worked out the route in Neverwinter?
Mikaela, make me a history check.
Uh,
As Spring
is
asked that
this
question.
the path that goes to the abandoned fort with the rope bridge that has red brand ruffians?
Make me a history. Actually, you know what, Mikaela, make me a cartography check. Because that
I
feels
don't
right
have
here.
that skill.
Yeah. So make
Is it intelligence?
It would be intelligence. Yeah.
Alright, so +0.
+0. Woo! Mikaela has a photographic memory. Okay. As you are thinking back to that moment in Gundren's library when you were flipping through a couple of books, you remember there were maps there, and you also recall your time speaking with Aubrey in the tavern in the city of Neverwinter, and the research you were doing before you were heading out on this mission. You do recall that there was an abandoned fort in this location, as you correctly guessed. And you also recall your encounter with Blakcat when there was with the Red Brands, if you wanna, the Red Brands and their magic staff that you were able to remove from their possession. If you want to talk about that, but yeah, you are correct. This is the Red Band hideout.
I'm
She
going to
lets the
bet.
party know.
Okay. Well, despite it being a
Spring
hideout,
and player don't know what words you just said except for hideout.
Yeah, that's because I was expecting Sam to say something other than he tells the party.
yeah, red brand hideout, I think he said.
Mm-hmm. I'll drop a brief description of what you would know about it just from general chat. General being a character in this world. I'll drop it in the chat, but continue talking.
A hideout this way. I mean, I'm willing to bet if we try to be a bit stealthy about it, this could potentially get us to Phandelver quicker than we ever thought.
And we would also go around where the Cragmaw goblins have been ambushing the most. The connection between the high road and the Tribor Trail.
We sure it's the safest route?
Well, is safety or speed more important? I think so. I think speed when it comes to this.
Yeah, well, we are still transporting that potentially dangerous weapon thingy.
I mean, think about last night. We did pretty well. We can keep people away.
Okay, well, as long as we know where we're going and we have a route.
Hey, Spring, do you think you can draw up a route through here? You're pretty good at reading maps and paths, right?
Maps, not really, but once I've been somewhere, I'm good with it. Where are we supposed to be?
If I'm correct, then I think this route goes to the. Is it west or east? I know it's east from this perspective. I think it's east in World 2.
We're just gonna say
This
north is
route-
always up.
Okay, so this takes us to the east. I'm while our okay, good to know. This path takes us to the east, while the path we were on takes us straight south, and then we have to go east. This path might be able to take us straight to Phandelver while avoiding the goblins, but it is riskier.
This lack of path that you're talking about?
Well, it's clear that it was here.
Well, I mean, if we stick to the road, we also have we also could potentially be attacked by road bandits. So either or is gonna be dangerous.
Is there a higher chance of finding more treasure going this way?
I mean,
That's all that Tonē cares about.
Aren't
It's-
we on the outskirts of like next to a forest and we're going towards kind of farmland, miners town, right?
Sorry, say that again?
Aren't we like on the outskirts of like a giant forest and we're going to like a farmer's miner's town, right?
That's correct. There are miners.
Yeah, so
They definitely don't do farming. They're definitely not primarily farmers, but it is a yes.
Miners, okay. So I think the most treasure you will find is probably close to the town itself where they mine. I don't think this
Well-
road is very full of treasure.
I mean,
Oh, we're over there. Yeah, we're supposed to go that way. And
No.
Spring points out where the destination is supposed to be.
Well,
Whoa.
we have our heading. Spring. You think you can navigate us there fairly directly?
As long as that old map was right, yeah. Should be easy.
all right then. So I take it as out of character. We're taking the forest path.
Yep, Spring wouldn't mind that.
Okay, so yep, we're taking the forest path. And it's just like after Tony asked that, a wink would chime in, just like, I mean, if we're going past a place called with a group of bandits called the Red Brands, and if they attack us, I'm assuming they'll have some gold on them.
I mean, yes, but if you want a bigger chance to run into bandits, you should stick to the roads. Bandits like to stick around the roads, because usually people stick to the roads, so that's where they attack. We might actually not
does
run
it-
into them by taking this route, by going through more forest area.
But there's a chance we might take them by surprise.
I mean, we could always do some good and try to clear out the fort, especially if this path makes us get there faster. Well, to Phandelver faster.
But will we be able to deal with them fast enough with the time it saves us? Because if we're late with this delivery, and he just looks worried.
Yeah, we shouldn't fight unless we have to, but this path is faster.
Okay, let's take the fastest path. Also, hold up, do I know anything about the redhead bandits?
Brains.
You can make a history check, but I would say you definitely know, just based on being a character in this world, that the Red Brands used to be a gang of ruffians that were, for a while, they were actually, like, they had Phandelver under their thumb. They were, the kind of vibe of, like, you can pay us to protect you, or we're going to besiege the town with our magic staff. And they had, like, a singular, like, firestorm staff. But once they were disarmed of it, their gang fizzled out pretty quickly. Or, not fizzled out, but they left. They didn't come back to the city after that.
Okay. What do I know with a nat 20?
And she's back!
the god
I mean,
roll.
I'm just gonna say, we had a crit earlier in the session, didn't we? That was not from Galaxy Fox. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah,
those
that's
the
true,
wolves.
that's true.
That was me with the wolves. Never mind. Okay. On a crit, for your history check, you would know. What else would you know? Sure. Let's add a little bit of details to what you know from. So the story that you know is that when the Red Browns were kind of at the height of their power and they were messing around in Phandelver and they were getting ready to like extend their reach to start like becoming a full-on like crime mafia organization kind of vibe. That some of the people in your party actually were hired to go and dispatch them. And using some cunning and trickery, they were able to deprive them of their powerful magic item. And thereafter, the villagers ran them out of the city. And that's where most of the public knowledge ends, but you being a rogue who has investigated all sorts of criminal organizations before, you would know that they kind of rebranded themselves a little bit, and have since been calling themselves hunters, and have taken up residence in a deprecated manor that used to be home to the Tressenders, the founders of Phandelver. And that's kind of been their base of operations, and they've been kind of, sort of like trying to be like a shadow government, vigilante kind of thing. They haven't been really doing much, but they have been saying a lot about like stuff that they're going to be doing to correct the wrongs of the systems and like real edgy shit.
Okay.
You'd guess this is where the hideout is.
Okay. Do I know where it is? Could I potentially mark it on the map, or do I just know it's the what was the name of the manor again?
It didn't have a name, but it was the Tressender's Manor. Like, it used to belong to them.
Manor.
Yeah. And you know, it seems to be the general location that this path is pointing toward.
Okay.
You know, I do...
Well, unless we're ready for a battle, we should keep an eye out for a manor and avoid it.
Works for me. It works for me. We just have to the speed of this round. The speed of this round could save us days, but as long as we're careful, we can keep that advantage.
Okay, just careful of the manor. These bandits have been around town a lot, so they do know this area. So they're only dangerous in this area. I haven't heard much of them like branching out much, so they seem very comfortable areas.
And I guess this is Spring's cue to lead them towards this manor that the path seems to be pointing at.
Okay.
No, we don't want to go to the manor.
Well, I will say the...
Then does this manor's revelation change our path that we want to go on?
I will say you would definitely be able to just like go. So if I'm gonna paint like a more broad picture, I guess, of the way that the road goes. Like you have the main road that's going this way, and this road, the manor is like an offshoot of this road, right? There used to be a road here that used to go like this, and for whatever reason you're not sure. It seems to have fallen out of use. But there's like a branching point here that leads to the manor. If we could like, draw the general shape.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like-
the manor is a side road.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
if you were to drive on the highway and then take like the first exit, it would lead to Tressender Manor.
Yeah, that can easily save us like 3 to 4 days.
Certainly a more direct path.
Okie dokie, got it.
Can
Then
we scope it out anyway? Like, see what kind of enemies and guards they have, like both on the road there and also like the road that we're going to take.
I think scoping out is gonna take us some time to do if we want to do it safely and accurately, and I'm not sure if we have that luxury right now. I think we should deliver this first, and then we can always head back to this manor if we
Possible.
wanna.
I will
get
say
ourselves into some
that
trouble.
the time that you were allotted was 14 weeks, and you're on your 4th day, so you guys are making good time. Not 14 weeks, 14 days. So there's 10 days left, and that might have been like 5 weeks. So you're here. Like you had pretty much exactly enough time to get there. If you were able to save time by taking this more direct route, then you could arrive there in the same time that you're expected to, and still have accomplished something extra. Or you could arrive early. Your choice.
Let's get there early, get our money.
Yeah, let's like honestly, and not to mention out of here, the more direct path seems more interesting. And like I mean, I always like a good combat if needed.
Ah, yes.
I still think it might benefit us to like make sure there are no guards or anything on the road. Maybe not the manor road, but this road. We will have
Maybe
extra
the two
time.
roads can go up ahead of the wagon, since the wagon is and rogues are not.
I mean, I am decently fast if I have to be. I can scout a bit.
It's really if we want to fight the ruffians or the goblins, because we know the ruffians are over here and we know the goblins are gonna be over here.
It's true.
I feel like Awake is gonna say both.
I mean, both are good. I mean, like I'm fine with either.
Yeah, I'll wait for party decision as well.
Should we take a vote?
I say
Shortcut
we
gets our
move.
money faster.
Yeah, I say we move this route and we try to avoid ruffians. If we can't, we fight them. But this route is faster. The road we're on right now, the non-road road.
Yeah, like I'm definitely for that as well. Like if combat does come to it, that's good. We can always show off more of DC20 combat to the folks. And, but I mean, like if we can take care of this without combat, that's still faster. I definitely.
I can scout if y'all feel safer that way.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the party decision.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, let's take the non-road
doesn't-
road.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like a long, like, it could just be you scout ahead and come back. Done.
Mhm.
Like, you don't have to constantly keep scouting.
Yeah, y'all don't have to like wait here. You can keep on moving. The cart is slow. I'm decently fast.
I think Spring is also really fast, too. He went to get juice.
Yes, Spring is only fast when he has his coffee.
He just went to a tree for some tree sap.
I am back, and yes, Spring is very fast, but he's also the cart's navigator.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do the scouting,
Oh, true.
bring this to navigating, and you guys keep moving.
Yep,
Yeah, works for me.
works for me.
Ooh.
Say again? Alright. So, based on that, it sounds like you all are planning to continue along the path, so I will go back to the correct page. Are you splitting the party, Mahina and Mikaela, or are you going all together?
I am basically about maybe like no more than 20 squares ahead, whatever that means in this distance.
Okay.
Like
So
I will
you're
stick
staying
out.
well ahead of the pack, but you're not letting them out of your sight.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah,
And I
sure.
won't do that too long. I will run back at some point.
Okay. In that case, you may make me a stealth check. And anyone else, or I guess Mikaela, if you're also doing that, you can also make me a stealth check. And we will proceed from there.
Mahina, do you want me to come with you?
Sure. I mean, safety in numbers.
Alright then. Buddy system.
Yes.
Safety in first. One for two.
I mean, it's better than going alone. Take this.
It's the buddy system.
What's going on?
Yeah, what it-
Oh, hey, welcome, Power Hungry. They got. Oh. Okay, that's not fair, Galaxy Fox. I'm trying to prove with statistics that you are not rolling higher than normal.
He's cheating.
I was
not
hoping
happy.
for it.
She's not
They're
rolling
ha-
higher than normal. Normal.
Yes. 1 second. I'm gonna pause the recording real quick. Okay. I think the recording is on pause, so that should be good. Yes. Crits are not fair, Galaxy Fox, and you need to stop it. Is that understood?
Never,
Is that?
I'm going rogue.
I see. I always knew it would come to this. Uh, okay. Thinking. Okay. Right. Apologies for my slowness. Okay. So, as you guys continue going on with Mikaela and Mahina being a good distance ahead of the group, you travel for the better part of the remainder of the day, reaching to approximately like the edge of this hex before resting for the day. And as the fifth night draws to a close, you can see that the terrain that you got into, well, you can still see like the fairly the overgrown stone path. The horses are like the horses in the carriage are a wee bit slower trying to get through it, being that it is not such a well maintained road. Being that it's not as well a maintained road. Right. You start to see the closer you get to the forest, the more, or like the main part of the forest, the more the trees start to, the density of the trees increases the closer you get to the forest. But in a strange way, the undergrowth of the forest, it seems to, how do I say this? Something strikes you as odd about the undergrowth of the forest and how it's almost like Spring, make me a nature check, please. But it's almost like you the species of the plants don't match this region. Like you would like you guys are adventurers. You've been to the forest a number of times. You know what it looks like, but it just seems different in a weird way that you can't really put your finger on. And spraying with that roll. I should practice this more of doing lore things just in the chat and letting the players say them out loud. So in a second, I'm gonna let you know what you learn with that roll. But as you make this weird observation, you guys decide that it is about time to set up shop for the night, or set up camp rather, and you get out your sleeping bags and whatnot, and you prepare to rest. Mahina and Mikaela, I'm just gonna assume you guys are also gonna stay with the main pack while resting, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. In that case, as the passage of night begins, do me a favor and everybody, or do me a favor and whoever is staying awake, please make me an awareness check.
I mean, I do through that. I have the tremor sense, so
Whoever's on first watch.
Okay, then I think that's Mikaela.
Oh,
take
I've had
second
first watch like 2 or 3 times already, so I'll take second.
Oh,
Third.
then I'll take first.
Oh wait, Mikaela, do you have dark vision?
I have dark vision.
You have dark vision.
Well, being that you only need 2 people to be on a watch. Yeah, there's 5 of you, and you only need 2 people on a watch. So if one of you guys wants to sleep through the whole night, that is perfectly fine.
Spring would like to sleep through the night, please.
Awesome. Okay.
I'll do that. I'll do the first watch in that case.
He is very busy during the day guiding this wagon.
Awesome. Okay.
22.
I'd like to take second watch just so I could get the half rest to get health points back.
Cool.
If I may volunteer for that.
Okay, then I guess I'm on first watch again.
Mm-hmm.
I took first watch. That was all right.
Mahina and Tony are on first watch, and Awake and Mikaela on second watch. That's the vibe.
Works for me.
Okay.
Although maybe we should stagger it so that we have at least one person that can see. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, so. Spring, if you don't mind rolling me 2d20 minus 2. Or, sorry, 2d8 minus 2. As we draw closer to the manor. As we draw closer to the manor. And awake, please make a mental saving throw.
Mental save. Oh, man. D20 plus 3. Natural 1.
Okay, this... oh my god, okay. This is interesting. Where relative to the rest of the camp are you sleeping?
He's awake is probably... Let me think for a second. He probably sleeps a bit farther from everyone else, like just to make sure, that he can see the whole camp and just and make sure make sure people are like okay. He's let me get my thoughts straight. He sleeps farther away from everyone else so we can keep watch on the whole camp.
Okay, he's farther than everyone else. Make sure he can keep watch of the whole camp. Okay, cool.
While camp was being set up and role outcomes are being decided, just to convey the discovery I found, Spring will point out that the nature around this area where they're going is a lot better off than it has been during our travels, and than it should be even for this area that it's in. And his guess is that a druid or something is enriching this particular area for some reason.
Okay. So, as you come to that conclusion, and are sharing this, I imagine, at some point during the rest that you guys are having.
Yeah, this is shared as camp is being set up and before he goes to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Assuming, or does anyone have anything to say about that, or does that announcement get made and would you move on?
Are there any cool plants?
Yeah, you definitely notice that these plants seem to, like, the plants that are here don't even seem. The plants that you currently see do not seem to be native to this region. They are a lot more like ferns and more like desert terrain. Like the plants that might not desert, but more like, I don't know what the vibe I'm trying to sell here is, but they are a lot more shrubbery, a lot more like smaller kinds of plants, I guess. My lack of botanical knowledge is showing.
I'm like awake.
So they're smaller, more durable plants than trees and just grass.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Awake would also be interested in just like, well, he doesn't understand how it works. He's wondering like, are these magical plants or something? He'd probably
Spring
ask.
Would kind of do the 50-50 hand gesture and say, "Do druids make plants magic?"
I don't know. I've never met one. Closest thing I've ever met to a well, the mages I knew, they were never the nature type. Octavius was a wizard. Edwin was a wizard, he called himself, and Henry was a priest. I've never met one of them druid types. For a second, I thought Tonē was, but he claims to not be a mage, and I've seen him perform some weird miracles.
Okay. Sure, Sam. Make me a survival check for adding things to your medicine kit. Okay. So, as you all are having this discussion, or rather, once you guys are complete with your discussion this night, you guys all begin to lay down and go to sleep, pondering the mysteries of this weird plant life. Awake. What does it look like? What does it look like when you dream?
Awake very much. I mean, like inside the dream, or like, or just like or like, is he physically tossing and turning? I think physically speaking, he'd be in his blob form, but like, yeah, but like you'd see him like, like he'd be shifting every now and then, and just like, weirdly enough, it's almost as if he's like halfway shifts to his humanoid form, like when a dream gets stressful, but then like shifts back to his blob form the second it's not. He is very much like, when he feels stressed, it's burned into him at this point to try and form into his humanoid form.
Okay. So then, I would say any party members particularly paying attention to that would probably notice it. As internally in your mental landscape, what does that look like?
I think Awake tends to dream of there are two things he does. Like, he dreams this night of the stronghold of the Reclaimers before it just got abandoned. Him like training, looking through the books and everything, and then as he left to go do as he left in the dream, it's transitioned to the forest that he learned from his master in, and there was nothing there besides an empty cabin. So Awake is thinking he must have either left or died, and I can't find him.
As you think that thought, though, when you remember that empty cavern, you almost see like like a bit of like static across the screen as you see, like in your memory, like it gets fuzzy for a second, and then you look back toward the cavern, and you like it almost feels like you glitch for a second, and you feel yourself standing in your humanoid form above an open basement. And down there you see like a pulsating green glow. There's a you.
For out of context clues, is it the same green glow that I think I saw on the wagon wheel?
It's similar.
Ooh.
Awake in his dream would try to make his way towards the green glow.
Okay. As you are standing in front, you hear like almost like a sizzling sound, or like a static sound in the back of your mind, as this kind of open trapdoor, almost this hatch in the ground that never existed, stands before you, and yet here it is. And you attempt to, do you like just hop down, or are you like climbing down carefully? Like what is the vibe as you descend?
He just like he would open the trapdoor and just like look down for a second. Then he would go kind of cautiously but efficiently, because he knows that he'll sense something coming due to his tremor sense. He'll sense something coming before he sees it.
Okay.
So kind of a little bit more slowly, but than he would normally do, but still pretty fast. Like, if I had to put it in spaces, his speed is a 6, he'd be at a 4.
Okay. So cautiously and slowly. Okay. So as you begin to like descend this hatch and like slowly go down the ladder, you see like the green glow, like that's just slowly happening. You start to hear like words in the back of your mind that you cannot understand. They're like these harsh whispers and this very hushed tone. It feels almost for a second like you're going mad before you like shake at it for a second and look down as you now have reached the bottom of this massive empty basement. This is almost like a stone chamber that lies underneath of the location, and you find the source of the glow as you look, and you can see this like massive stone tablet, maybe the size of your like entire torso. And as you look down at it, you can see there's like an inscription on it written in a language that you don't understand or recognize, but it almost feels like the language itself is like shifting on the rock and changing. It's not concrete. What do you do?
Awake would... Let me think for a second. I don't know why. I'm like, Awake is just thinking to himself, I feel like I have to absorb this. I can't read it. He's going to try and absorb it.
Oh my god, I love that.
He can't read it, but it's clear that I'm getting a vibe of evil. I'm getting a weird evil vibe from this. I'm gonna try to stop this.
Fascinating. Okay, and as you do that, your humanoid body, you kind of like you drop your shield and your sword and then your weapons, and as your body kind of starts to expand and like become amorphous as you extend over this thing. You're almost about to cover it, and then you wake up with a start. As you find yourself now in the real world, you find yourself now in the real world with all of your items kind of like, it's almost as though like you exploded, right? And all of your items that you had with you are like scattered all across the floor. And you're like, as you return to consciousness. But the one thing that is still there besides your pants is the arrowhead that you picked up nearby the city.
Awake just like holds it for a second, and just like he's going to put it in his pack, not back into his body, and then just like reabsorb his weapon and just go like, I really need to get that thing checked out. That's how it's stuff.
Okay. So, Mahina and Tonē, you guys are on first watch. As you guys are kind of in this forest, you guys are taken away from the side of the road. You're in like a little bit of a clearing, almost, or a place that is more sheltered. You all have stopped to make camp. The campfire is going. You two are on watch. All of the dwarves are asleep, as is the only named NPCs so far. What do you guys do during your first watch? As you guys are just kind of chilling.
I'll wait for her to start a conversation.
Does Mahina start a conversation, or you guys just kind of sit there in awkward silence?
Usually silence is not awkward for her, but comfortable. But yeah, so go in.
I mean, y'all are chilling outside. There's no inn.
Do I just go like, so what do you think this other job might there be?
Sorry?
What do you think this other job might potentially be there? We were told that when we delivered this, that there might have been other things around that needed help.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope it involves treasure. Or pays well. Do you think
I
it'll pay
haven't
well?
heard. No, sound like the pay was good. I have a distinct feeling that we're gonna have to deal with some bandits, so if you're lucky, they got some treasure saved up somewhere.
They usually do. I'm planning on it. What about the thing, what's his face said? I forget his name. About the guy doing dark evil things.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking about unnatural stuff and being involved with some monstrous type of person.
Right. Sounds pretty dangerous. I don't know if I want to involve myself in that.
As the conversation kind of starts to taper off a little bit, considering the prospects of the future, I'm curious, Mahina, what is your character expecting out of what's going to happen? What's going through her mind?
Expectation. Well, she expects that even though she is traveling with a bunch of knuckleheads in her mind, they will deliver this thing, which is gonna be a nice pay. After that, she is just kind of afraid of what might come next and what she might have to do since she has to check in.
Say that again. You were cutting out.
She is more stressing and worrying about what she might get tasked to do, because after she gets back to Phandelver, she's sure she has to check in. If she doesn't, she's sure that somebody will find her.
Okay. Interesting. As you guys are having this thought, okay. As you are, having that thought, you start to see the, darkness of night begin to, or the passage of night begin to deepen. So I'll put it next to the campfire. I'll put it over there. You see the sky begin to get darker as the passage of night begins to be more, what's the word? More visible. First watch begins to end, and you don't really sense, much of anything. Oh, right. That's why, because I forgot to have you guys make awareness checks. I'm trying to find it in the chat, like, where's the awareness checks? Please make an awareness check, Tonē and Mahina.
I did, it's the 22. That's,
22.
Yeah.
So did Tonē make an awareness check? For first watch?
No.
Please do so.
That'd be a 9.
Alright, the 9. Between a 22 and the 9, the only things that you guys can really hear, besides the crackling of the fire and the rustling of the wind through the trees, is the frequent, or the semi-frequent, like, chirps of birds and small animals around you guys, as you can definitely more so than in the plains. You might hear, like, bugs or something, but actual animals are not very common weren't very frequent to encounter, but you can hear a number of small grassland critters. But Mahina, you cannot shake the feeling that you're being watched. You don't see anything. You don't hear anything. You don't feel anything. But you just you can't shake the thought, I guess. As your first watch has ended.
Hmm. She's probably gonna stay up like a little tiny bit longer before falling asleep. Just trying to shake that feeling.
Alright. Cool. First watch ends with the two of you guys. As Mahina is going to. Are you going to stay up just a little bit longer, or are you going to actually be awake on the next watch? Mahina?
They're not lighting up, so I'm not sure if they can hear you either.
Alright, well, we'll kind of just let that slide for now. So, Tonē Thröq and Mahina, your conversation ends, your first watch ends, and you begin to wake up the next people. Awake and Mikaela. Out of curiosity, who is going to wake up awake? Which one of you?
Oh, I can't hear. Hold on.
I guess I can.
Alright. So, Tonē, as you go to wake up awake, you can see that his slime body is almost like oscillating between like its human and non-human form, almost like it's like twitching or breathing in a way that seems like erratic and unnatural.
Yes. I didn't come up with a creative way to wake him up. Maybe if
Watery
he has some
face.
sort of net. How do we normally awake up?
Oh. How do they wake you up awake?
I mean, no, normally you could just like, normally you can probably just like poke me with like a non-pointy stick or something. Most likely just go in me and I'll start digesting it, and it'll just be like, oh, okay, then that's understandable. But you get the sense that if you do that right now, you aren't completely sure what will happen.
Yeah, do we have any, like, smelling salts or anything? I'll just, like, open up a whole bottle of that and just pour it on him.
Amazing. Okay, for the second time tonight, you are violently awoken by the smell of smelling salts.
Okay, so as you do that, in almost in an instant, he just gets big and is like towering over you, about to engulf, and then he just like realizes, wait, and goes back to his humanoid form. Oh, what'd you do that for? Oh,
You were thrashing around. I didn't want to poke you with a stick. The normal way.
oh, by the gods. Yeah. And you're some kind of mage, right, Tonē?
Not really, but sure.
Look, as I just point you to my pack, and just like that arrowhead. I can't keep that on me for tonight. That was messing with me in my sleep tonight.
What happened? Do you have a dream?
One I've never had before. First, it started normal. I was at home and at my master's shack in the forest. Nobody was there. And last thing I remember was some sort of stone tablet with writing I couldn't read, and I got an evil aura from it that I just had to observe. I tried to engulf it. I tried to break it down. I couldn't. I don't know magic, but that felt like it was trying to mess with my mind a bit, and you're all about treasure, right? You can probably get a better sense of that thing than I can. I was mostly keeping it on me because I I thought it might be a good metal, but I can't do that anymore. Okay.
Yeah, I'll gladly take it off your hands.
I
I think
feel
it's worth something. But I wouldn't actually say that it's worth something to him.
Awesome.
I'm feeling a lot better now. I'll get Mikaela. Don't worry.
As you go to do that, Fox, I'm going to assume that Mahina was probably getting Mikaela.
Oh.
Alex Fox, are you have you dipped out of the call, or are you still?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm here.
Is there anything special you do to wake up Mikaela, or you just like shake her awake?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just gently shake her awake.
Cool. Then, Mikaela, you see, you wake up to the cat gently shaking you awake for your second watch. You can see Tony over there in the distance talking to Awake and Spring dozing off peacefully.
All clear?
Spring up in the tree, or is he actually like
Ooh.
sleeping in
Does-
the camp because he doesn't have to take a watch?
No, he's definitely in a tree. He definitely finds them more comfortable than the wagon.
I like to imagine that he's like hanging upside down.
He's not a bat. No, he found a crooked branch and turned it into a little nook. That's
Is
just the right position for him to sleep almost upside down in a ball.
Wait,
Almost upside down.
Is he holding a giant acorn in his sleep?
Amazing. Okay, so, as the next, kind of set of watches happen, making some awareness checks, but Blakcat, this time your character, does fall into a slumber. Please make me a mental saving throw against your save DC.
Against my save DC?
Mm-hmm. As you begin to fall into a slumber, I'll say before you choose to save or not, you feel the familiar call of your patron as you begin to drift off.
And I make a save.
You may choose to make a save to resist it.
To resist talking to my patron. I know I want to talk to my patron about the
Okay.
arrowhead thing.
Okay. So, as you drift off to sleep,
Of course, I'll roll a 19 on that.
well, you can choose to resist it or not. You don't have to resist it. So are you? You said you weren't going to resist, so I'm going to assume that you're going to choose to fail to save.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
One's a roll.
So, right. Oh, I just realized I didn't move you guys to the sleeping page, which is kind of funny. Oops, I'm going to quickly.
Sleeping page?
Well, there is a. Let me. Boom. There. The whatever the hell this is. Yes. So, Tony, as you drift off to sleep, I imagine still wearing your very big, heavy golden armor. You, as you drift off to sleep, you feel yourself kind of going to have, like, whatever normally you would have before it becomes, like, it slowly begins to, like, shift as you feel almost like, you feel like your soul leave your body for a second, and you, like, looking at yourself being asleep, before the world around you, shifts and forms and almost, like, swirls for a little bit, and then you find yourself standing on top of a mountain of gold, interspersed with a variety of magic items. You recognize your entire arsenal, like, kind of impaled into this mountain around you, and you can see nothing. You cannot see, or rather, you cannot see very clearly in here, as you are in a massive dark cave. Any sound echoes greatly, and you can feel the overwhelming heat that just permeates the room as you are in the lair of your patron. And as you are kind of like basking in the powerful like magic aura of your patron, you kind of open your eyes for a second, or like you focus in for a second, and then you feel it's almost like an abrupt sense of cold, or well, not a sense of cold, but an abrupt stop to that overwhelming powerful aura that inspires you. That you it's kind of sort of look up to it in a weird way. It's like it abruptly feels like it's no longer there anymore. Make a. I guess you already did that. So as you look, yeah. As you look forward to where your patron usually reveals himself, though he is massive enough that you can pretty much only see his massive eyeball, you see something else, something different, something grotesque. As you see, you're not even sure how to parse what you're looking at. It looks like... For the first time being in this cave dungeon thing, your sight is you can see far enough into the darkness to glimpse more than just a small portion of your patron, and you can see the side of his face that he is showing to you is almost like marred and scarred, and it is as though like someone like dragged their fingers through it and like extended it in a way that left like these dripping tendrils of flesh out of the side of its face. It doesn't look like it was slashed, but more like its face is just like slowly decomposing into like strings of like hanging, decaying flesh. And you can see that its eye is open, almost like it is staring in the distance. And you can't really see it doesn't look like it sees you at all. What do you do?
Does it smell like it's decaying, or do I just see that it's decaying?
When you as you attempt to like sense in the aroma, I guess the thing you smell most overpoweringly is like the smell of like sweltering metal. But through that you've always smelled this. How would I describe the smell of dragon?
Powerful.
Huh?
Powerful.
Powerful. Almost more like the smell of like charcoal, I think, would be what you expect to smell. But this time it's not so much the smell of rot as it is of fish. That's more like the kind of smell I would say you smell. Still bad, still not pleasant, but it isn't decay. It's more like fish is the vibe. Seafood. But bad seafood.
Mm-hmm. I would probably say something more like, well, this is fishy.
Oh, that's bad enough to get you killed. That's you killed. No negative hit points. Die.
I don't know if we gave my dragon patron a name, but I don't know. I guess I would probably call his name to get his attention first.
Sure. I'll say I don't think he gave you his name. He probably would have asked you to call him something like Master or something.
Oh, good
would
point.
Would you have agreed to that, or would you have been like, excuse me, no, tell me your fucking name?
Probably at first that would have been okay, and then at some point I probably would have tried to like convince him to tell me his name. Whether or not that worked,
Alright. I will say the name that he gave you, I'll say that when you did attempt to do this, make me an influence check. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. 23.
I'll say when you did make this attempt, he attempted to blow you off, and it wasn't really like it didn't seem like he was taking you seriously. But I'll say that you, were I don't know. Would you have been I'm imagining like either you were like sincerely like more like either like as a friend or as like okay, if you don't tell me, then I'm not gonna help you. Those are what are the two vibes that I would assume you would have. Which one do you think you would have gone with? More like demanding or like
I would have said it was probably more joking, like, are you going to tell me your name today, kind of thing.
Okay.
That's the vibe that I was kind of picturing.
Okay. Then sure. It doesn't seem like he was taking you seriously, but the name that he would have given you was Voltheus. And I'll just copy that into the chat for you. But that is a name they would have given you. And as you call that out into the room, you hear it kind of echoing. You see his eye that seems to almost be like staring out into space. It shifts almost like hollowly as it looks down and focuses on you. You can see like the massive vertical dragon pupil almost like shrink and widen to become more circular as like a tiny bead in this massive draconic eyeball as it looks at you. And it says, "What are you doing here? Who are you?
Who am I?"
You see the pupil kind of like, no, it's like it's looking at you, and it's almost like circling around you. Like it's not in place. It's vibrating almost.
You recognize your name when I called it. Are you not Voltheus?
Not Voltheus.
I do. I know that name. Voltheus. Who was he?
And you see the eyeball kind of like drift to be lost in thought for a second.
Voltheus.
And it kind of focuses back in on you.
You.
And you see the eyeball kind of like open and like almost like shock for a second. You! I remember as you see the dragon kind of almost like, you see it like lift up its body. You can't even see the entirety of its body, but it lifts up and it is bigger than you can see the extent of it. It definitely sounds like it's standing up as it turns to face you, kind of head on now. And you can see that, again, that half of the face seems to be like falling apart, but the other half, you can see your familiar patron, as you feel that, what's been that powerful, fiery aura, as it's kind of snaps back into focus.
Tonē, I don't... Something's happened. I don't know what it was, but there was a person, there was a man. He was here, he...
You see the dragon kind of lift up its claw as it clutches the side of its face.
It did something to me that I don't know what happened. You...
Describe it.
He thinks for a second.
There was a spell. He was a wizard. He carried with him a black staff, one with the head on its end, the body of a spider.
And you can see like the left side of his face, you see him like kind of wince as the left side of his face almost seems to like stand, like if you see like a cat's fur like puff up, like the tendrils of flesh kind of stick out, and you see him like almost like paralyzed for a second as he like falls off of balance, and the left eyeball in that bead form just looks straight, like again into the distance, and you see like more of his flesh starting to like tear apart a little bit.
He was... I think he was a drow. He had long hair. He wore black armor. He looked like a death knight.
He would say as he's like struggling, almost as though like he's carrying a massive weight.
I need you to find him. Your debt will be forgiven. I'll overlook whatever the hell else. I need you to defeat him, to kill him, to stop this.
So you're saying I have to kill him in order to stop this?
He nods. What is Tonē feeling in this
Sure.
moment?
I would say a little bit protective of the patron. I mean, he's been his friend, but also and kind of like a mentor kind of figure. But
Mhm.
also, I'm not really sure like exactly how harshly he's treated me. You know, his sister getting attacked by uh, because of
Right.
his patron doesn't necessarily build the best relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
but I think the proclivity to sort of protect him and preserve, Tony's power motivates him to agree.
Okay. So, as you are hearing him, as you kind of agree to do that, and you see him, you see like he's standing and he's attempting to stand up straight as this. He's almost like bending his neck to as though he's like supporting like of the weight of something massive on that is like on top of him. You see him relax a lot when you say that as he like sinks back to the bottom of the cave. You hear like the amount of gold that you're standing on like kind of like shifts with the weight of him like slamming into the ground. And you see him kind of close the eye that he can close. He says he says thank you. And then you feel, as he says thank you, you see him close his eye and go to rest again. As once more you see the left side of his face focus in on you, and once more say that name, Voltheus, before the connection starts to fade.
He says his name.
Moving on. Let's see. Awake and Mikaela, as you guys are now on watch, what is it that you guys do?
Let me think for a second. Awake would probably be. Let's see. He'd probably be like reflecting on that dream, since like that was unusually lucid. He'd probably ask Mikaela about this, like, so you ever have weird dreams that seem like they can't have been normal? Where they fabricate a language that you can't read.
I don't think I have. Usually everything is in languages I know. Is that what happened in your dream?
Yeah, I stone tablet in a language I couldn't even understand, and it was glowing. It was this weird green glow as well. I only woke up when I tried to absorb it for some which I only did because it felt evil.
Is it the same glow as that arrowhead?
I don't even know the arrowhead could glow. Like I was told it glowed, but I never saw it. I think that might have been the first time I did. Well, I feel I should ask. Away from that experience, what made you decide to get on this anyway? Money, power. What exactly is in this for you?
Well, I guess, like, It's never. Money is never a non-issue.
I've heard that a lot from people. I guess I guess when you can't just go absorbing grass like I can, food does actually end up being kind of hard to come across.
Mm-hmm.
No, to self
I am
awake as a cow.
trying to find a dragon, but
Wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear.
I am also trying to find a dragon, but I don't expect to find it anytime soon.
What dragon?
Apparently there's been some sort of red dragon that's been messing around with people. I feel like it may have some information I need.
Well, I guess we're all kinda connected to dragons in some way. Tony said he serves one, and my family was killed by one, and you're looking for one.
My father was a dragonborn, so I'm even part one.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, there you go. We all have our dragons with us. I never found out what color was the one that killed my family.
It was
All I
probably
know
the
is-
red one.
Oh, this was about a year. This was about a couple years ago at this point. How long's this dragon been a nuisance?
Do I know that? Hold up.
How long has the dragon been? I didn't hear the last words. How long has the dragon been a nuisance?
A nuisance, yeah.
Make a history check.
Mikaela or me? Okay, yeah, Mikaela.
+0, here we go.
Woo! Your
17.
+0 history checks are surprisingly good, Sam. Stop saying that.
This is my third 17 of the session.
Okay, so, +0 history 17. I will say, that based on what you know, you're asking if this dragon has been a nuisance. It kind of has like, it's almost like there are like seasonal periods. Like at certain times of the year or at certain years, it seems to fly in from somewhere else and then mess with something and then go back. But it's been happening basically since you arrived in Neverwinter. And it sounded like it had been a fairly persistent problem since before then. Like, you might have heard people joking, like, oh, I wonder if it's the Year of the Dragon today or something. Or this year.
Yeah, so... I honestly have no idea, like... It just pops up sometimes, pops out sometimes. Could be for as long as this world has existed, who knows?
I had folk tales like that are always interesting to me. You know, if ever given the chance, I'd probably try to kill that dragon that got the reclaimers. But I know that's unlikely to ever happen. What about you? You planning to kill this dragon that you're hunting for?
Oh no. I've just heard that it may know something about a different dragon.
Well, I guess it's a stroke of fate. I think that all of us are connected in that way.
Indeed.
Dragons are. I've heard they're terrifying beasts. I've only ever heard. I don't even know what they look like. Outside of the Dragonborn, I've seen around, which I've heard they aren't even exact approximations of the looks. I've only heard of them in stories and pictures.
Dragons or Dragonborn? 'Cause you would definitely have seen a couple of Dragonborn.
Dragons, like
Okay.
but like he said Dragonborn are not. He said
Okay.
they're a rough idea, but not close. These are.
Mm-hmm.
from what I've been told, dragons are a terrifying thing when you do actually see one. But you know, as you happen to know anything about magic, Mikaela?
Just a little bit. Not much at all.
Damn, that arrowhead. I was hoping I gave that to Tonē thinking he might be able to do something with it, but we don't know. It's too bad Octavius isn't around, otherwise I'd have him look at it. Octavius is an old friend of mine. Kind of academically smart, not the brightest when it comes to the streets. You ever trying to get you know, that reminds me of this one time when I first met him. As Awake begins to regale you the story of just of him meeting Octavius, where he ran across this bumbling elf wizard in the forest that lost his spell book to a bear, and he had to go wrestle the bear while the wizard just like had to run and grab his spell book and get out.
Mikaela was fascinated by the tale.
Describing it as a fascinating ordeal that showed him that allowed him to see his regenerative capabilities for the first real time. And I think that's where Awake would stop there for the night, unless you have something.
Mikaela would think it's like an interesting clue that he found out that was this group that all had something to do with dragons, and she might just I don't know if she'd say it out loud, but she'd just think of perhaps Neverwinter is important. Perhaps a dragon is near Neverwinter.
And you know what this means, DM. Like after we complete the Flossed Minds, we have to go into Tyranny of Dragons in DC.
Well, I don't have that module, so I'm afraid I can't run it for you guys.
There's a simple solution. Get it.
And then port. I'm joking.
Yeah. Mikaela would have nothing else to say other than now just being lost in thought about you're getting weird dreams from your arrowhead and your tablets, and dragons being important somehow, and is clearly extremely distracted because I only got a 6 total on my awareness.
And as you are getting into this distraction, Awake he chuckles and makes a joke, and you didn't hear, and he glances away. You rolled a 20-something on your awareness, right, Awake? 14. 14, okay. You know what? That might be something that can actually pass. Oh! It beats it! Okay. I will say, you are just barely able to spot the fact that there is indeed a pack of wolves slowly encroaching on the party from all sides. Though this one is noticeably not the same.
I feel like Awake as he's like since he and Mikaela are talking, it's like he just like stops dead in his tracks and just looks over. It's just like, get the others up. There's wolves coming. Get the others up now.
Mikaela is on her feet as soon as she sees Awake's sudden stop, due to just how jovial he was just a moment before running towards the others.
Okay. And with that, can everybody roll initiative?
Give me 1 second, and getting my tremor sense up, and I need my stamina bar. 1 out of 1. D8s. I forget. Do we do D8 system or the?
We're using D10s this time. This is Silver's homebrew
Ah.
initiative system.
D10.
Hell yeah!
I'll just take the 4 anyway.
You may feel free to reroll.
Or make it lower.
It's your choice.
Ah!
When if you get lower, Mikaela, come now. You know better than to do that than to
I can
say that.
roll a 1, guys.
Not on D20 checks, so it doesn't count. Alright, do me a favor and properly populate your initiatives. I don't think we're going to be able to effectively go through the initiative, so we're just going to set it up for next time. And then I will know exactly what to do for prep.
You are evil. This on cliffhanger.
Ah, yes, precisely. As you guys get surrounded by wolves! And you know what? Because you guys both rolled the maximum, I'm going to say that you guys have have advantage on the first check that you roll this combat. Because that's how crit works on the D20 version.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and with that, as you guys begin to get surrounded by wolves and start to hear the howling, we are going to go ahead and move over back to our intermission page, as we are no longer in scripted territory. Everything from here on out is fully on-the-fly, convergent, or emergent gameplay. Yeah, at the end of every session, I like to ask my players 3 questions, as always. What did you like most? What did you like least? And what is one thing you did well or could do better? We'll begin, as always, with Jaku.
I liked the as always I like the role play moments, and we're actually starting to build. I like that we're actually starting to build things as a party. Thing I least liked, I mean, I never like. I know you explained this to me last time. It's like I never dislike anything, but if I had to choose something that was the least, I guess it was. Leaving us on a cliffhanger.
I am evil!
And then something like, I'm glad that I'm gonna go back and when I watch this next week, I'm gonna cringe at myself, but I'm glad I'm beginning to fix my stutter a bit when it comes to this. But
Fun.
yeah, I'm proud of that. Yeah, like, although I will eat these words in about a week when I finally go back and watch this, I can already tell. But
Okay.
and
Fox.
now on to
Fox.
I love being at odds with my character. My character is like, okay, let's be safe and just get the mission done. Fox is like, oh my god, bandits, let's fight them.
I know.
But I really like. I'm gonna write a bit of Jaku, but I really like starting to feel like a team. Like actually working together on things, and even like something as simple as in the skill challenge where just everyone is doing their thing, kind of knowing that they are safe because somebody else is having their back. So that's
Say that
fun.
again?
Well, everybody's like kind of doing their thing and having a lot of fun with it, but like people are building on that, but also feels like every character can do their own thing because they know somebody else has their back.
And you're saying this is a good thing or a bad thing?
No, I'm saying that's a good thing.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you'd move on to the second or the first question. Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's fun. It's also fun to be like, kind of have that moment where the 2 rogues can be scouts, be rogue.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Alright. What did you not like? Or what did you like least?
What do I like the least? We didn't get to fight the wolves yet.
Come on, guys. Alright, what's one thing you did well or could do better?
No, I disliked the moment that I was losing everybody because I was kind of confused what was happening. So technical difficulties is what I disliked the most. Especially
Fair
since
enough.
the moment that happened, like a lot was happening and it was really cool. Everybody was having those dreams and things happening.
Oh, that was when you left? Oh my god, that must have sucked.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to catch the recording, I guess. Okay. Next is Tonē. Blakcat.
Yeah, I just want to say, I was gonna give Awake that softball, but definitely liked least ending on the cliffhanger with the battle right there. Definitely my least favorite part. But the roleplay and the dream thing definitely were very fun. It's very cool. And I agree with everything that Alex said. Like the teamwork, working together stuff, and the kind of team roleplay is coming together.
Alright. Next, I believe, is Sam.
Alright. What I liked was just little bits of lore from each character coming together as Awake in character figured out. What I didn't like was that I was late, but if it's something that I didn't like coming from you, I'll pick out a very minor detail. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. All my awareness rolls sucked except for one, and on that one that I did well, nothing was found. Whoa, so sad.
Apologies.
Something I could do better is definitely just, well, not be late, and just be more on game with being, in my character's mind and stuff.
Okay.
I was
Ooh, I have
too
an
busy
idea.
just listening to everything else happening instead of thinking what my character would think. And something I did well was, just keeping good notes on everything that, I've been learning in the lore, so I could just know what's happening.
Cool. Thanks. Spring.
This is probably just going to be a repeat, but I hated the cliffhanger. I despised every single show that does that every single week. And now I'm doing it. And it's
Okay.
horrible.
Oh my god.
The Phandelver saga moment.
Okay, I'm just saying there is an effective way to get audience members to come back to the next episode, and that is to leave it on a cliffhanger.
I
Fair
know
enough.
it
Fair
works
enough.
because I go back
You
every
want us
week.
to come back, don't you?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
It's-
and then I liked that the party is starting to find the group RP groove. And then something I can do better. I should plan my emotional and reaction to the lore drops, but I'm absolutely going to forget.
Nice. Well then, in that case, remind me next session to talk to you guys about a thing that I want to do, and that is to use the concept of what's on your character's mind and make that actually be a thing we check at the top of every session. One of my other DMs, what he does, he says, what does your character immediately think about? What are his plans for the next week or so? And what are they looking forward to, in the future? So I want to just have that as a recap at the top of every session, moving forward. Cool.
Oh no, hold up.
Yeah,
Me.
sounds good.
I gotta head out for now, but
Yep.
oh wait, before I go, I have been Jaku. I hope I was entertaining for you all, and we will see you next week.
Feel free to leave the call, Jaku, because I think someone else had something else they wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I just realized I made a way too edgy rogue because you're like, what do they look forward to? I'm like, yeah, Mahina doesn't have much to look forward to.
Oh my god, perfect.
Does she want to slay some wolves?
Yeah, I mean, but that's what the player looks forward to.
It's relevant.
Okay. Well then, if there's nothing else anyone has to say, then let's all go ahead and sign off. Jaku signed off first a little bit early, so Mahina.
I've been Mahina, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night.
Okay. Tonē.
I'm Blakcat signing off. Until next week.
Mikaela.
Already gotten old, but refuse to admit it. Oh.
Spring.
And this is Spring saying, bye chat, I gotta go pee now. I've been holding a little session.
And that's a wrap.